The new cast of Netflix's hit series The Crown hit the red carpet on Tuesday in London for the premiere of the 5th season. The award-winning show, which follows the reign of Britain's Queen Elizabeth, returns to streaming on Wednesday, portraying the royals in the 1990s when they faced marital upsets, public dissent, and a fire at Windsor Castle. Among the cast were Imelda Staunton, Dominic West, and Elizabeth Debicki, who play as Queen Elizabeth, Prince Charles, and Princess Diana respectively. The cast insisted viewers know it's a drama and do not need a disclaimer for its fictionalized storylines. It has drawn criticism and calls for disclaimers over its dramatized storylines. Some commentators have voiced concern over its airing just 2 months after Elizabeth's death and the impact it could have on her son Charles' reign. Netflix describes The Crown as fictional dramatization inspired by real events.
Well, I don't want to patronise the Netflix audience, but if there are some people who don't understand that this is fiction, then they should read the disclaimer.
And as a viewer of the series, before I knew I was going to be involved with it, I didn't think, well, that's a fact. Because I don't know, nobody knows what the Queen was thinking at breakfast when she has a conversation with her husband about X, Y, and Z. We don't know. So it can only be a drama, and I think the audience watching know that. There's a fascination, I think, with going behind the surface, the stuff that we know. And I think that the first 4 seasons have done that brilliantly. And I think there's no doubt about it, there's going to be a heightened interest in this season because we've lost Her Majesty. But I think it'll be a good curiosity. People wanting to feel closer to her.
We know that. Well, I think people know they're watching the television, and I'm not a fan of treating your audience like they're stupid.
Everyone has watched The Crown for 4 seasons, hasn't bothered them before. Actor Imelda Staunton, who plays Elizabeth in season 5, said.
I think the audience will be comforted by just spending time with these people again, and what Peter Morgan does is try to make people understand maybe what it's like to be a member of the royal family. You know, you have to put a face on whatever's going on behind closed doors, and there's a lot going on, and how you deal with that. And it's an investigation, and it's a drama, and I think he does it absolutely beautifully. I mean, everyone's watched The Crown for 4 seasons. Hasn't bothered them before. Well, we were filming that day, we found out in the evening, and I was inconsolable that night, and it surprised me, my reaction. And then I thought, well, I've been living with her so closely for 2.5 years, and so yeah, that wasn't a good night. And then fortunately I had 10 days off in the schedule, those 10 days of mourning, how interesting. And I felt, I mean, the people, you know, lining up to see her, it was so moving, and I felt they are, you know, saying thank you to someone who kept their promise, it seemed to me, who just did her job day in, day out, no matter what.
A new plotline includes Charles' divorce from the late Princess Diana and intimate conversations with Camilla Parker, now his wife. It's a time of his life that was not only the prime of his life, but also in many ways the most difficult time of his life. Actor Dominic West, who plays Charles, said.
It's a time of his life that was, you know, not only the prime of his life, but also in many ways the most difficult time of his life. And I felt enormous empathy and sympathy for him, in fact. And that's been one of the challenges and also the joys of playing it.
There's been a
I don't think it's flattering. No, I think that would be not. I think that would be doing him and the audience a disservice. But I think it's fair, and I think it's. I think Peter has always written with the idea of giving everyone a fair hearing, and I love the guy, and I wouldn't have done it without a feeling that it was a fair hearing and an empathetic one.
Olivia Williams, who plays Camilla, said that it was a very hard time for her and she wanted to do justice to that.
I felt I looked at photographs of her at the time and realised that all the pictures of her were taken probably by a man hiding in a bush outside her house. And so she either isn't aware that there's someone hiding in a bush outside her house, or she's just caught sight of a man hiding in a bush outside her house. And she just looked so very unhappy in all those pictures. And I felt it was important to do justice to that unhappiness. But while she was having an affair with the Prince of Wales, her marriage was falling apart and her mother wasn't well, and it was a very hard time for her, and I wanted to do justice to that.
Critics have given mixed reviews on season 5, but most praised actor Elizabeth Debicki's portrayal of Diana.
Yes, I did actually, and I think that when you join the Crown, the team, there's an enormous amount of archival footage that is suddenly available to you. So I just sort of dove in really deep, and yeah.
Egyptian-British actor Khalid Abdullah, who plays Dodi Fayed, had Free Allah written on his hand. Ala Abdul Fateh, an Egyptian-British software developer and blogger from an activist family who rose to prominence in the Arab Spring uprising that toppled Hosni Mubarak, is now a symbol of suffering during the repression that followed. The 2011 revolution gave hope to a generation of activists in Egypt and beyond. But Abdul Al-Fateh quickly fell foul of successive security crackdowns. He has spent much of the decade since behind bars.